In the old kingdoms, justice was not given. It was taken, not by courts, not by kings, by those patient enough to wait, and clever enough to strike when the time was right. This is scrolls of vengeance, and this scroll has been sealed for centuries. Until now, scrolls of vengeance, the kingdom forgets, the scrolls remember. They made me kneel in the mud while my father burned. The king's banner snapped above us, gold lion, red claws, clean and proud, while my world turned to ash. I remember the Lord's voice more than the flames, calm, bored. Mercy is expensive, he said, and you have nothing. He spared my life for one reason only, so I would remember. He never imagined I would return to collect. I was the son of a miller, no sword, no title, no name worth keeping. When the tax collectors came the first time, we paid. The second time, we begged. The third time, they came with soldiers. They accused my father of hiding grain for rebels. A lie, but lies travel faster than truth when spoken by men in armor. They dragged him outside. They let me watch. That night, I buried my father with my bare hands and swore an oath I didn't yet know how to keep. I fled south under a name that wasn't mine. I cleaned the stables, I carried messages, I listened. Invisible men hear everything. I learned how lords really rule. Not with swords, but with debt. Not with courage, but with fear. Not with loyalty, but with secrets. When war broke out between two rival dukes, I chose the losing side on purpose. The desperate side always promotes faster. By 25, I was no longer carrying messages. I was writing them. Battles are loud, power is quiet. I learned to starve armies without swinging a blade. I learned how grain roots decide wars. I learned how men with crowns panic when their gold runs dry. A mercenary captain once laughed at me. A miller's son playing general. 6 months later, his men were eating bark, and he was begging me for contracts. That was the moment I understood something dangerous. Kings do not rule kingdoms, supply does. I returned to my homeland wearing armor paid for by other men's fear. No banners, no trumpets. The same Lord still ruled my village. Older now, fatter, still cruel. I didn't confront him. That would have been mercy. Instead, I bought his debts, quietly, through merchants who never learned my name. I paid his soldiers more than he did. I let his allies starve while I fed his enemies. When winter came, his castle gates stayed shut. When spring came, no one answered his calls. The king himself summoned me when the rebellion spread too far to ignore. He expected a general. He met a man who knew where every coin in his treasury had gone. I told him the truth, just not all of it. I offered him victory. I offered him loyalty. I offered him peace. All I asked in return was justice. The king signed the order at dusk. By dawn, the lord who burned my father was in chains, accused of treason by the same system he once abused. I stood in the crowd as he begged. He didn't recognize me. That was the final punishment. People ask why I didn't kill the king. Why didn't I take his crown when I clearly could have? Here is the truth they don't teach in songs. A man who chases revenge becomes a servant to it. A man who controls systems never needs revenge again. I didn't want his throne. I wanted control without a face. So I returned to the mills. I rebuilt them. And every kingdom that rose after learned the same lesson too late. They were never ruled by kings. They were ruled by me. And so the scroll closes. But the archive is vast, and many reckonings remain untold. If you think this story ends here, you're wrong. Because the king I spared would one day betray me. And the revenge that followed didn't burn villages. It erased a dynasty. The next chapter is where the crown finally falls, and blood is the cheapest price paid. If this tale stirred something in you, a memory of your own patience, your own waiting, your own justice yet to come, leave your mark in the comments below. Tell me, what would you have done? Subscribe to The Chronicle. Ring the bell so you never miss a reckoning. The next scroll is already being prepared. Until then, may your patience outlast your enemies. The kingdom forgets. The scrolls remember.